Hi, my name is Ghoulie, and I'm here to talk to you about Kulebra and the Souls of Limbo. Originally released on May 16th, 2025, and developed by Gaia, Kulebra and the Souls of Limbo is a story-driven side-scroller available on PC. You play as Kulebra, a skeletal snake who is known as a bright soul. Your role? Help the Souls of Limbo pass on. You'll meet a variety of characters who are unable to move past the regrets they had in life. The kicker? At the end of each day, every spirit's memory is reset except yours. Explore each map, talk to the residents, find out what they need, and help them move on. If this is the first review of mine you are watching, know my reviews tend to be more positive as I review only games I've enjoyed regardless of any criticism I do have. I also try to be as spoiler-free as possible, and unless it's a farming sim, I have played the game to its completion. If you want to see me play games in real time, I stream over on Twitch 5 days a week. So, let's begin. Starting off with the story. The story begins with Kulebra waking up. After meeting and helping an old woman, we find that Kulebra is known as a bright soul, and it is a bright soul's job to help resolve the regrets of lost souls and allow them to move on. The first of these souls we meet is Flora and her mother Rosa as they run a flower shop. All Flora needs to do is sell the 3 remaining flowers, and then she and Rosa can close down their shop. So, Kulebra just needs to buy all the flowers, right? Sounds pretty easy. But there's a catch. All the souls of Limbo, except for bright souls like Kulebra, relive the same day over and over again. Their memories reset at the end of the day and will behave as if they're meeting Kulebra for the first time. In order to prevent this daily amnesia, Kulebra must leave a mark on someone's soul. Sometimes this is through his actions or just offering a listening ear. However, someone is causing darkness in Limbo. Some souls refuse to move on and transform into their dark forms. Kulebra must overcome these obstacles and reach into the heart beneath the darkness. The story has a strong beginning. After the mother and daughter duo at the flower shop, Kulebra's next destination is a nearly abandoned Old West-style town with the sheriff who rules the remaining residents with an iron fist. But the iron fist is to protect the citizens from the demons with yellow eyes who stalk outside of town. It's a great example of Kulebra's nuanced storytelling that even the cartoonish villains have depth to them. There's also a lot of mystery and intrigue between the scenarios of helping souls move on, the strange ruins found throughout the land, and rumors about the growing darkness. I really enjoyed my time finding more and more about the world and its characters. However, the ending left me with mixed feelings. Without spoiling it, the ending was left a little open. A lot of my questions and queries were left unanswered. It seemed to be left vague on purpose and hints at something in the future, like a sequel or a title update. If it's an entire sequel, I'd be disappointed but appeased by playing a whole other game. I would be upset if it's a paid DLC. I'm not a huge fan of mainline story progression being behind a paywall. I'm looking at you, BioWare. The happiest outcome for me personally would be a free title update, but that's just me. Despite my mixed feelings about the game's ending, everything else is fantastic. I was worried that our time in the final city of Plaza would become stagnant after being there for multiple chapters, but that didn't happen. Kulebra in the Souls of Limbo has an amazing story about forgiveness and love and realizing it's okay to let go. That was the story. Let's talk about the characters. You play the game as Kulebra, a bone snake with bright blue fiery eyes and an ever-present grin. He doesn't have much of a personality, acting more as a vehicle for the player. But we do get glimpses of his life before death through the ruined puzzles. And despite the fact that he doesn't really talk, the characters around him describe him as kind, empathetic, and overall a good person. Besides Kulebra, we meet a variety of colorful characters, from Crow, a member of the Wing Union who helps Kulebra out from the start, to Fani, a child soul who hyper-fixates on the latest craze, and to Lady Bugga, a fellow bright soul and Fani's caretaker. One of my favorites is Pika, a bird you meet in Chapter 1. She's a bitch and I love her. She's a grifter and a thief, but even she has her own moral code and will help Kulebra out when she needs to. In every chapter, Kulebra must help lost souls move on in order to make progress. While the chapters follow a similar formula, each character's story is unique. Their achievements, their regrets, their lives all have a story of their own. None of them felt rehashed or reskinned. Now, for Kulebra's graphics. I love the art style of Kulebra in the Souls of Limbo. Inspired by Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door, Kulebra has a 2.5D papercraft style. Characters look like stickers with the white outlines, the backdrop and many set pieces are made from cardboard. It's such a fun art style. Although the character styles are simple, many of them are straight bangers. Starting with Kulebra, his design is immediately recognizable. His flaming blue eyes and his rattle replaced with colorful cacti, you'll know him when you see him. Some of my favorite character designs include Sinisa from Sunset Saw with her bright red hair. She looks really badass and has a really big personality. Another is a dark form of a character in Chapter 3, Tormenta. She has an awesome design. I really enjoyed why she is the way she is. Other aspects of the graphics I like are the fun visual effects, the different perspectives of Kulebra when he's turning different directions, his animation rolls, the explosion of confetti from Crow every time he talks to you. Just adds so much more depth and character. Those were the graphics. Now let's talk about the audio. The music for Kulebra is very well done. Most of the songs on the track are bangers and have a lot of variety to them. Each setting has 3 different songs for the times of day, something they didn't have to do, but it's entirely appreciated. The boss songs sound familiar, but contain different riffs to match each boss. Tormenta's is more heavy metal inspired, while Diablo's has more brass to it. Just a nice little bit of characterization. Other tracks stick out to me, like the Wing Union song you hear when you're talking to Crow. Or the sleepy lullaby of the observatory. The sound effects are also well done, a jostling of pencil every time your journal is updated, a crinkle of bones when Kulebra starts to roll, and the tire screech when he stops. I am a sucker for Foley effects, and this game has lots of them. I really appreciate the level of audio detail. There is also voice acting in Kulebra, but more akin to the Animalese in Animal Crossing, which is fine. I don't mind when the voice acting is as simplified as that. I do like the majority of the characters sounded different from each other, each with their own tone and pitch, like Mauve's more flat voice versus Fani's higher pitched voice. Just nice little details. Now, let's get into gameplay. Kulebra and the Souls of Limbo play as a side-scroller with puzzles and time manipulation mechanics. Each chapter plays very similarly. Meet all of the important characters, find a way to get past a hurdle, and defeat a dark form boss. Each location has a day, evening, and night cycle. Characters move to different locations, and some characters aren't available at all at certain times. Part of the puzzle is to find who is where when, and why that is important to you. And if you need to get to a certain time quickly or even the next day, resting on a bench can move time forward to when you need it to be. Also to note, you are not penalized for taking your time to do any side quests or exploring. The only things that have a real timer are items that are soul linked, items that will return to the rightful owner the following day, and one segment in Chapter 3 where you have to help prep the stadium lights for a concert. The Lost Souls of Limbo also cannot retain new memories. Unless Kulebra leaves a mark on their soul, they will forget what happened the day before and repeat the same actions over and over again. Luckily for the longer cutscenes, you can skip them if you end up having to watch the same one over and over again. While the idea is that the day is basically reset every day, I never found the memory wipe mechanic to be in the way of progress. It's very easy to figure out what you need to do next, and enough progress leads to soul marks. While the game has a lot of puzzles, they are very intuitive and hints are always nearby. There were only a few I struggled on, but once I figured out the solution, I lamented on how obvious it was. Streamer brain is real. There are also boss fights against dark forms in a form of a quiz. You'll be asked questions relevant to the characters and things within that chapter. And if you're not too sure, the answer is most likely in your journal that you can access during these boss fights. Some of the later boss fights require more dynamic gameplay, but otherwise are pretty easy to deal with. My one big complaint about the gameplay is in the final chapter. Without going too much into spoilers, Kulebra finds himself in this mansion and must solve a series of puzzles to open the way forward. But he must also sneak past these dark entities who are moving around the whole place. It's the only segment in the game with this amount of stealth. There's a small segment that has it too in an earlier chapter, but it's completely optional and missable. I don't mind the stealth per se, and despite getting jump scared a few times, we're doing a little bit out of order, but that's okay. I think with how connected and— Ow! I did not see you there! Oh my god! Oh my god! It wasn't too hard. It was just a huge shift in tone and gameplay from before. The final leg of this segment has Kulebra going back into the mansion and doing almost all of it again, but this time being chased by the final boss. I didn't find this to be particularly fun, but that's just me. Despite my complaint about the final leg of gameplay, I overall really enjoyed the gameplay of Kulebra and the Souls of Limbo. Now, onto the achievements. Kulebra and the Souls of Limbo has 10 achievements. 6 of them are story progression and easy to get. The other 4 require some busy work, but still easily achievable even without a guide. And if you accidentally finish the game before collecting all the achievements, don't worry. After the game's end, you're left in the world to free roam and wrap up the other achievements and collectibles you might have missed. So, my final thoughts. Kulebra in the Souls of Limbo is a masterpiece. The art is beautiful, the music is banger after banger, and the story is so compelling. I do think the somewhat open ending is off-putting, but overall does not dampen my good time playing. As of this recording, the game is $19.99 on Steam. It took me almost 14 hours to 100% the game, so not bad at all. That's all from me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as a way of helping my channel. I hope you have a good day, good night, good morning, whatever time it is there. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!